Stop believing the lie that if your ex left you and got with someone within the same month or 2 months later, that they're so happy in this new rebound relationship, right? Stop buying into that nonsense. Now, is it possible for someone's rebound relationship to work and actually end in a happily ever after? Yes, possible, but it's highly unlikely. Don't believe me? Just look at the statistics. They show around 5 to 10% of rebound relationships actually make it to a marriage, right? Heck, on average, a rebound relationship only makes it 2 to 6 months anyways. And 90% of those relationships end within the first 3 months. And hell, even if we want to look at the ones that do make it to a marriage, right? The 5 to 10% that make it to marriage, around 78% of those end in divorce. Why is that? Because rebound relationships rarely to never work. And I'm going to tell you why. There's two sides to this. If you ever actually cared about the one relationship that you were in and you're with somebody and you were really emotionally invested in them into you and so forth, on no planet do you just break up, process your emotions within the same week to a month or two, and then you're already back into a whole new committed situation where you've had time to go out there, date again, find someone that fits you, makes sense, that you might want to start to really invest into in a serious way, right? And that your emotions have been cleaned up enough and that you are back to being neutral and balanced and in a healthy in mental, emotional and mental space, right? To where you've gotten all the baggage out of your system and you've healed from having to mourn the loss of your recently ended relationship. There's no way that's happened in a month or two to be ready to invest truly into someone new. Doesn't happen. But I'll tell you what does happen. People do get emotionally checked out and over the relationship while they're still in it, but they haven't told their partner. They're living a lie. They haven't come to the forefront and revealed that they are really gone. They've already mourned the relationship. They've decided in their mind mentally, either consciously or subconsciously, that it's over. And they've just been riding the wave until they built the confidence to finally pull the plug and walk away from you, right? It's never a sudden thing when someone breaks up with you and they wind up with someone else. And it's also less likely that they found someone worth being with that fast unless they were already having some level of communication with this individual beforehand. If not, it's just their rebound person. It's the person that they're grappling to move on to that makes sense at the time. Maybe they're getting the whole 80-20 rule, right? Maybe this person has 20% what they feel they were missing. And so their senses are heightened to notice those qualities because they feel like they've been starved for that and they see it and they jump to go get it. But that happens when you're being premature in your decision making at that point. You're not realizing all the other 80% that they don't have that you need, and you're binging on that 20, right? That's a setup that's bound to fail. So understand what I'm saying here. Even if they did work through the emotional process while still in a relationship with you, but didn't communicate that to you, and they were detached and they fully healed and mended before they left, they still wouldn't be in position to jump right out there and find the ideal person that fast. Is it possible? Yes. But like the statistics show, and like most people's reality show, it's way less likely to be a thing. And let's talk about the second way that someone goes and tries to make a rebound relationship work and why it fails. Well, simply put, if a person was in a relationship with you but didn't really care and they weren't really investing their emotions, then yeah, it's gonna be easy to walk away and jump into a relationship with someone else. But understand this. Someone that operates that way is showing that they had unhealthy signs from the beginning and they use people to fill voids. And whenever it's not convenient any longer to fill that void with that person in their life, right? Keep using them for whatever it is, or maybe that person starts demanding and commanding more out of them that they don't feel prepared or willing to offer or don't feel they can. And they start feeling like I got to push away now. Then they leave and find the next person that will let them start their cycle all over again so they can keep filling their voids without challenge. And you tell me, how long would that rebound relationship work or last if they're doing the same thing they did with you with this next person? It's just a matter of time until it comes crashing down just the same way. And let us not forget this aspect. If your ex really did care about you, they really did love you and all these things. Like I said before, there's no way they've healed fully to move on with someone else completely with their slate clean, right? And that new person deserves that. Like they deserve to have that if they're going to really give it a chance to work. But understand, when someone gets into a whole new rebound committed relationship after they just broke up with you, I don't care how amazing it looks on IG. I don't care how great it may seem. It's most likely not going to work because they're using that person to fill voids, right? They're self-medicating with that person because they haven't healed all the way. I know because, heck, I did it at one point in time back on my journey before I got to where I am today in coaching and all these things. Know that part for a fact, right? But someone will self-medicate with someone so they can kind of nurture themselves through the hurt that they haven't dealt with yet, because they can't face being alone and be on their own and in their own space to deal with it autonomously. So they need someone around so they can feel like they're good. But they'll convince themselves that, oh, this is my person. This makes all the sense in the world. Heck, here's the big kicker. Sometimes they'll pick this person and just to try to continue to disprove that they can make it work, that is, oh, that last relationship that they had with you that failed, or that was just a one-off. It wasn't because of me. I had nothing to do with that. It's because I had the wrong person. And they'll stick it out in this relationship, this new rebound one, longer than they should because they're convincing themselves that it actually does work because they don't want to feel like they're a failure. They don't want it to look like I walked away from one thing and the next relationship failed too. So they'll keep the rules going and they'll keep posting all the fancy pictures and all those things. So don't buy into things that don't have real, genuine authenticity of actions behind it to make it as believable as it appears. If they really cared, they're not healed enough to make this new situation work, and it's a matter of time before it crumbles, or they didn't really care and they're really not fit to be with anyone, and that relationship is still going to crumble. But the big thing I want you to know is your focus on being hurt and feeling like, oh, hey, them going to go do this means something about me is really about you trying to disprove something about yourself. So hear it from me. If they actually cared, it's not that your relationship didn't matter. It's not about that at all. It's about they have unhealed wounds they still need to go address that they're using other people for. It's not a reflection on your value. And even if they didn't care, it's symbolic that you cared about you enough to where you commanded and demanded enough out of them that they couldn't give and offer. So they went somewhere else where they can continue to be empty. But it doesn't come back to being anything negative about what your worth is. Never devalue yourself and your mind based off of someone else's actions that are unhealthy and in negative ways. Don't do that to you. But what this is a signal to you of is you need to start focusing on your self-care and really realigning with your self-love. Because if you start questioning your worth for an iota because of what this person's done in this fast way they're moving and it's all unhealthy, then it's a sign that you have to nurture yourself more and remind yourself why you're so extremely valuable and build that up. So your confidence is never shaken by what someone else decides to do. If you need help with that, you already know. Come to me for coaching so we can get that done and have you awesome and prepared to attract the right person that is fit for you. Just DM me coaching and we'll get to work. Let's get it.